Okay, so we are now online. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody who is online, depending on which part of the world you are online from. I'm sorry for the delay. We had some technical issues, but it's all good now. So thank you for everybody who is joining us today. I must also thank my very good friend Siddhan, Dr. Siddhan Dugan, who is here to help me. And then, last but not least, I want to thank a very good friend, but rather a brother of mine, Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodi from Pakistan. He is here today to help me deliver a workshop about NVivo. And the reason why we went with this workshop was because I mainly talk about quantitative research, and I get emails from people saying that there's another part of research called qualitative research as well. So I looked around in my contacts, and I couldn't find a more suitable person who can come and talk about qualitative research using NVivo. So thank you so much, Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodi, for accepting my invitation for this workshop. Before we start the workshop, a couple of things about housekeeping. So one, there won't be any certificates unless somebody have already talked to me about something specific. And the reason why we don't do certificates is because I don't know how many people are going to join, even though the registrations were close to 1,500. And I see that right now there are close to 180 people or something who are watching. So that's why certificates were a big issue. That's number one. Number two, if you have any questions about qualitative data analysis using NVivo, make sure that you use chat feature on YouTube. Just post your question, and then both Dr. Siddhan and I will keep an eye on your questions, and then we can ask Dr. Rab Nawaz to answer those questions. Number two. Number three is about this platform called Research Beast. So I've been uploading different videos on my YouTube channel. Make sure watch them if there are any faculty members who are teaching research methods courses. You can use these videos. You can also reach out to me. I have some quizzes for certain videos. So if you give those videos to your students to watch and learn, then I can also supply some quizzes or multiple choice questions so that you can use them in your classes. The last thing as an update is this thing that we are doing today. This is part of the Support Academy for graduate students and faculty to update their research skill set. So if anybody watching has any specific skill set, or if anybody is good at using a particular software or an expert user, please let me know. I'll invite you next time so that we can do another workshop. I definitely need people who can talk about anything from reference management softwares like EndNote or Mendeley or Zotero, all the way to any big softwares like Stata or M Plus or stuff like this, or QDA or Leximentor, or any software that can help people around the world. So these are some updates I wanted to highlight. Lastly, I'm also going to publish a newsletter very soon about for graduate students, which involve interviews with graduate students, some tips, tricks, and featured articles on research methods and some video links and stuff like this. So if you are willing to receive that newsletter, again, just let me know and I'll be happy to send that to you. So this is all done. Now coming to our star today, Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodi. I know Dr. Lodi since 2010, I don't know, 15 or something. It's quite a long time, but it feels like I have been his friend since my childhood. He is such a wonderful person and a very, very humble person. So thank you again, Dr. Lodi. Dr. Lodi right now is working as an associate professor at UCP Business School, University of Central Punjab, which is, I think, one of the oldest universities, if not the oldest university in Pakistan. And he is teaching a master's, both MBA and MS programs, as well as PhD programs. He has done a lot of trainings. I don't know how many in total, but in 10 to 12 different countries. His PhD is in management sciences on ERP system success evaluation from Bahria University, Islamabad. And then his research areas are within the domain of marketing and management, e-business and cybersecurity, and MIS and IT. So with that, Dr. Lodhi, I will hand over the mic to you so that you can start with your workshop or whatever you want to say. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Fazan, for inviting me for such a wonderful training session under your platform of research-based M3 Center of University of South Florida, United States of America. I can see Dr. Sadan and many of the friends. Hi, from Pakistan. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning respected faculty members and esteemed professors, scholars, PhD students, MS students, and the other uh, professional researchers who are going to join this training session. So we are going to talk about NVivo software. NVivo software is the king data analytical software in the world. So whenever we talk about the picture analysis, the content analysis of the pictures, the thematic analysis on the interviews or focus group discussion, discourse and conversational analysis, or the data mining or the text mining, or other types of finding different patterns, or NORA, NORA, non-obvious relationship awareness. So there are a number of non-obvious relationship, and we can find the theories. We go into the realities. We dig out the realities. We dig out the theories from the ground of the data. So NVivo helps a lot in doing all these kinds of things, and analysis for the interviews, for the focus group discussion, for the documents, for social media, and also applying the sentiment analysis to analyze the different emotions and feelings of the people hidden in the textual data. So, and Vivo software helps a lot in theory building approach. Whether we are going to apply the narrative analysis or phenomenological analysis or grounded theory or participatory action research or in-depth case study or ethnography or ethnography or ethnomethodology. So NVivo is a very powerful software we can apply in any kinds of qualitative data analysis, and particularly nowadays people are applying this particular software not for the qualitative but also for the mixed methods approach, whether they are going for the convergent triangulation or sequential, like the exploratory sequential or the explanatory sequential or the embedded research or multi-phase research design in using the mixed method approach. So, Dr. Fazan, I just need to confirm, can you see my screen? Oh,
No, Lodhi, you just need to click on share screen, which you can see on the bottom of your platform, and then you should be able to share your screen that way.
okay, that's perfect. So, thank you so much, Dr. Fazan. Now, please confirm, can you see this beautiful, wonderful picture of NVivo?
Yeah, I thought you are asking about you, so I can see your beautiful picture as well as NVivo's beautiful picture.
Okay, that's great. So, this is very wonderful, very amazing, and unbelievable software. So, we are going to start, and this is the practical session, and this is the latest version. We are going to do our project on this particular latest version of NVivo software. So after the installation of this trial, because we already shared the link how to download and how to install NVivo software trial for 14 days. So after installing this particular software, we need to go to create a new project. So in any type of software, first of all, we need to create a new project. So this is the option. And after activating this particular software, we are going to apply this particular command, new project, for creating a new project. So when you click on this particular option, uh, you need to give the title of the project. So I'm going to use the previous data of the project. Last year, I also conducted the training and I applied that particular data. So what is the reason for taking that particular data in this workshop? The reason is that this particular project, determinants of depression, is very, understandable for all kinds of, disciplines, whether you are in psychology, social sciences, history, management sciences, commerce, or information systems, because this is very common area. So every person can understand the reasons of depression or the problems, what are the factors leading toward depression. So that's why I'm repeating the same data, same example with the new features, with the different types of advanced things we are going to cover in today's session. So we are going to give the title of the project. So it may be the title of your research project or your research paper. So the title for this project is determinants of depression, or we can say the reasons of depression. So we need to click next, and here there are different options, and this is the advanced feature of the latest version of NVivo software. Software is asking about saving the project. So software is giving you the option. The software will automatically save your data. If you click yes, then software will be able to save your data after every 15 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever time you are going to set here. So you can change the location of your project. So these are some additional features of NVivo latest version they have just released. So we are just going to create this project without changing these options, but we can customize auto save option according to our convenience. So after this particular option, selecting this option, the software will create a project in your system. So it will take some time depending upon the speed of your system and capacity. So yes, here we go. So NVivo software, and this is the additional feature of the latest NVivo software. Software is guiding you. So you can also have a very wonderful tour, and it will guide you about the different codings, about the cases, about the sets, nodes, data, how to import the data, how to analyze the data, how to explore the different kinds of results, how to explore the models. So all these kinds of things, the software will guide you. So software is your tutor. So if you click on this import, organize, explore, or centralized, one by one, software will guide you. But we are going to skip this particular tour because of the limitation of time. But I will strongly recommend you all to please join this particular tour. I'm going to skip. So there is another feature of latest NVivo that NVivo software will guide you. Uh, if we talk about the previous versions like NVivo 12, NVivo 11, or 10 or 9, we cannot find these kinds of details. So software will guide you. What do you mean by files? Software will guide you how to import the files, how to import the survey through the and capture option or different types of commands. So there are a number of things additional. This software company, QSR company, has just added in the latest NVivo software. So they are telling about the information of those new features. So step by step, software itself guides you. Similarly, if you open Smart PLS software, so you will find a number of references from the different methodologists who introduce different techniques. You can also find some type of guidance how to apply the, for example, if you go for the second order construct, maybe formative construct, then if you're going to apply the different types of techniques like disjoint, method. So ultimately, smart PLS software will guide you about that particular technique, and a number of papers published on that particular technique by the different methodologists. So similarly, NVivo software is guiding you. So they are providing the information about that particular command file. If you click on external, then definitely the software will guide you. If you click on file classification, the software will guide you about the meaning of this file classification. So this is very wonderful option, and it is basically easy to learn this particular software. This is the additional feature they introduced in an latest NVivo software. So without any tutor, this is basically learning by doing. If you do the activities, then definitely software will guide you the next path. So this is very wonderful feature of NVivo latest. They have just introduced. So now, what I want to do here, I want to divide this portion into different different areas. So the first area, or the top area, is known as the ribbon bars. For example, there are different ribbon bars: file, home, and if we click on file, we can find different options regarding new file, open the existing file, or copy the project, print the project, help, or additional options available in the file ribbon tab. So we are going to back, and this is another ribbon bar, which is home ribbon bar, and then import, create, explore, share, and module is the additional ribbon bar introduced in the latest NVivo software. So they introduced the different collection of the files from Office and transcription, and this is additional feature in NVivo software. NVivo is providing you this additional feature free of cost for trial, but ultimately, if you want to use permanently this transcriptor, then definitely you have to pay money against that particular additional feature. So this is the feature for the automatically transcription. If you put some recorded data, video recorded interviews, or audio recorded interviews, or focus group discussion, then by using this transcription you can also utilize this feature. So NVivo is also providing you the collaboration through the cloud-based technology. So if you go in any country, you can have your data through this particular cloud features. So these are the different ribbon parts: file, home, import, create, explore, share, and module. So on the other side, on the left side, you can find this blue area. This is wonderful area because this area has different commands. So we are going to apply these commands, and under these particular the categories, like the first category is data. So all the things regarding your data, regarding your data files, regarding your your interview files, your focus group discussion, your data from the social media, data from YouTube, data from Facebook, data from Twitter or LinkedIn, and data from books, data from annual reports of the companies, data from pictures. You need to use this particular option, data. So here there are different sub options. So similarly, for organizing the data, we go for coding. So previously in NVivo 10, in NVivo 11 or 12, we find this option nodes, but they have replaced this nodes option with the codes option here in the latest NVivo software. So then we can apply the coding in the codes. Codes mean your themes and sentiments, your feelings, and your attitude, your feelings, and relationship. There are different types of relationship, like the one-way relationship, associational relationship, or the two-way symmetrical relationship. So in the two-way, for example, A is influencing B, and B is also influencing A. So we can define different types of relationship, and then we can create the different types of relationship. We can code the relationship sentiments and themes. So here I'm using this word themes. So these are the codes. So they have just changed, or replaced this word. Previously we used this word nodes, but now in the latest version they are using this codes option. So there is another option which is cases. This is very important option because, for example, if we are going to conduct the interviews, so all the interviews files are the cases. And if you are going to collect the data from the annual reports of the companies, so all the companies are the cases. You have to treat all the companies as cases. So one company will be representing one case. So we need to define the different case classification here, and according to these classification, later on we can explore different types of charts. We can explore different types of graphs for analyzing our findings, for analyzing our data. So this is also very wonderful option. And here we can also explore some queries. There are different types of queries. Queries mean questions, and we need to define the criteria for the queries. So these are your results. You can apply queries to generate different types of results according to your need, according to your expectations from the software. So, but all the queries, you need to customize your queries. Software will allow you the customization, and according to your expectation, you can apply different types of queries. Here there is another very wonderful option which is data visualization, and there are a number of options available to visualize your data. We can explore, we can apply different types of maps, final models, and here there is another option of explore. If you click on this particular option, explore on the ribbon bar, there are a number of things combining all the queries, visualization, and reporting of the data. So here we can find different types of queries like text search query, word frequency query, or matrix coding queries. And there are also some other queries like coding query, cross tab, or coding comparison query, compound query, or group query. So these are some queries. And these are the charts. We can explore some types of charts, graphs, data on the x-axis and the y-axis, to compare the case classification according to the gender, according to the age group, according to the other demographic features, other demographic variables in the data. So here we can explore the hierarchy charts. Hierarchy charts were previously known as the tree map. So if you find my research papers available on the internet, you will find some tree maps in the research papers. But now in the latest NVivo software, they have replaced this word tree map with the hierarchy chart. So we can explore different charts, and this is basically the wonderful finding, just like the regression analysis. If you recall the regression analysis, if you are expert in quantitative, so there are different beta values, the coefficient beta values. And if the coefficient beta value of a particular independent variable is higher as compared to the other independent variable, then we can say that that particular independent variable has more influence on the dependent variable. So similarly, we explore hierarchy chart to dig out and to explore the different importance of the different themes according to the number of codings. So these are different maps and diagrams, and there are different types of diagrams you can explore using this particular option. And yes, this is the social network analysis. We can also apply this particular wonderful feature to analyze the data from the social media. And we can also create some links among the people, among the different entities. And this is very wonderful analysis. And we apply this particular analysis particularly for finding different networks. So people apply the network analysis to find, particular relationship, like some criminal chain, or the people who are involved in the crimes. So they have their strong network, and through the snowball sampling, one person is connected with the other person with the same area, with the same feature, with the same field. So by using the network analysis, we can also explore more network regarding their links and according to their similarities. So maybe if they are addict people, some people are very addiction, and we can also explore their network. So this is very wonderful feature we can apply on the social media. Today, we are going to apply the thematic analysis on the data available. So after creating this particular project, what we need to do, we are going to import our data. So for importing our data, we need to go back to the data option. There are different options like the file option and external. These are two very important options. And if we talk about the files option, it's mean those files which are importable, which you can import in your NVivo project. But if we talk about the external files, so we can only import, or we can also give the sources of those data files, but actually we cannot import in NVivo software. So for example, if you read some newspaper, and the newspaper is not available in the textual form, but the newspaper is available in the picture form, then you can not import the newspaper for the coding purposes, but you can give the references of that particular newspaper by using this external option. And if you're going to use some books which are available in the physical library, so then again you cannot import those physical books in this software, which is intangible. So ultimately you need to give the proxy of the document, or you need to give the source of that particular document, and that particular data you can type here for the further coding purposes. So here today we are going to use this very common, very useful option, which is file. So we are going to use this particular option, file. Here we have different types of data. We can import different types of data in the file option. And here we can create different folders. For example, we have different types of data. Here we are going to create the first folder, which is interviews. So this is very simple. I'm going to repeat the same command. I need to right click on this files option, and I need to select the first option in the list, which is new folder. So if I click on this option, this is the dialog box, and or this particular window asking about the folder name, and I need to put another source of the data like focus group discussion. So this is FGDs. I have put two different folders, and now I'm going to create another source of the data like the pictures.
Excuse me, Dr. Lodi. There are a couple of questions from some people. They are asking which version of NVivo are you using, because some of them say it's a bit different from what they have.
Yes, Dr. Fazan, this is the latest variant, and QSR company has not mentioned the name of this variant. They just mention NVivo. So if you ask from me, I will declare it NVivo 13. But they have not mentioned 13 with NVivo. So this is
Okay.
simple NVivo, latest NVivo. Yes.
Okay.
So if
So,
somebody
sorry.
installed NVivo 12, then the layout of the software will be different.
Okay, perfect. So for those of you who have some trouble, yesterday I sent a link to everybody explaining how can you install this latest version. So you can check that out. And then after the workshop, you can install it, and then it will be all good. A couple of other questions, very quick. Dr. Lodi, if we can take a very quick break about these questions, because there are many questions coming, and then later I won't be following them, right? So I'm going to go to Siddhan to ask her to ask the questions. But one thing that many people have been asking is about licensing. So some people say, is there any free version? Is there any student version or whatever? Do you know anything which can be a bit affordable for people to use and view?
Yes, Dr. Fazan, There are different options from the company. You can also buy the student version, and you can also buy the full-fledged version. So they are offering the software on different prices. So the license is available, and if somebody wants to buy the software for the whole organization, for example, a university wants to buy the software for all the faculty members and PhD students, MS students, they can install, they can purchase the software for the complete lab. So they can buy the corporate license, and they will offer on the lowest price if you are buying more licenses from the company, QSR company.
Okay. One thing I want to highlight here to everybody is remember that neither Dr. Lodi nor Dr. Siddhan nor I are anyhow affiliated with NVivo. So if you buy a license or whatever, it's not that we are going to get a commission or something. So I got some emails from some people asking if I can give them a free or access or whatever. So these are softwares just like any other software we use. And this workshop is only to train people on how to use this software for the analysis. It's not a promotional webinar by any means. So just want to add this. Sedan, Dr. Sedan, you had a few questions highlighted. So if you can ask Dr. Lodi now, then we can proceed that way.
Okay, actually, there are many questions on YouTube, and we thank all the audience. Dr. Lodi, there are two questions questions about comparison between NVivo and Atlas TI. One question is, what is the difference between NVivo and Atlas TI? And the other one, should the document be in PDF format just like Atlas TI?
Okay, regarding your second question, you are asking how to import the PDF documents. Am I right?
No. I mean, the data should be in PDF format, just like with the Atlas TI, or the other data formats are also be used in this NVivo.
Okay, that's great. So I already mentioned in the beginning of this training session that NVivo is the king data analysis software, but it doesn't mean that I'm against Atlas TI. Atlas TI has different features, and some people use Atlas TI. They are expert. They feel, very easy to explore different types of findings through the Atlas TI, then definitely it is suitable for them to apply that particular software. So, but I have expertise in NVivo software, and I will strongly recommend. I also applied Atlas TI, but a number of features which are available in NVivo software, they are very easy to learn, easy to use, easy to apply, easy to generate, and easy to interpret in generated through NVivo software. So as compared to the other software like Atlas TI or like MaxQDA or other types of softwares. So NVivo software has more advanced features, and they have community network. They are continuously getting responses from the people who are using their product worldwide. They are continuously improving their software. They are continuously conducting different types of international conferences. They are meeting with the people. They are getting the responses. They are conducting their training session. They have their own certified trainers, so who travel in different countries. So ultimately, they are giving feedbacks to QSR company for improving their products in their new versions. So similarly, like the smart PLS software, if somebody asks me what is the difference between a mouse software and smart PLS software, so somebody say that a mouse software is better as compared to smart PLS, and somebody say no, smart PLS is very easy to use, easy to learn, and it can create a number of findings very easily. So similarly, if you ask about NVivo and other kinds of software, I will strongly recommend NVivo software for the data analysis.
Okay, thank you so much. Dr. Lodi. The other question is, what is the difference between content analysis and thematic analysis?
Okay, that's great. So sometimes we apply content analysis for finding some types of, quantitative contents from the data, from the pictures. So I also find some books and some material on the thematic content analysis. They combine the both things, thematic content analysis. So they also find some themes and through the different contents, and sometimes we separate it, thematic analysis and the content analysis. So for example, if you are going to conduct the content analysis on the pictures, so sometime you need to create some codings on the pictures, maybe one two coding. For example, I helped someone who was doing PhD in mass communication. So she wants to she basically wanted to find out some pictures published on the first page of the newspapers and some pictures published on the second page of the newspapers. So she conducted the content analysis, and through the coding 1 or 2 0 or 1, she found different types of contents and then converted into coding, and then later on she applied different types of differential statistics, or testing the differential hypothesis through the t-test or through ANOVA. So comparison, or comparing the pictures through the different codings. So that is basically the content analysis of the picture. And sometimes we also apply the content analysis on the annual reports of the companies. So we explore different contents, and later on through the coding we also apply the panel regression on the on the data of the companies. So we collect the time series as well as the cross sectional data through the annual reports, and we also find some contents, hidden realities from the text. For example, if companies disclosing these CSR practices in their annual reports, so then we can also go for the content analysis, and we generate different types of quantitative data, and then we relate that particular data with the different financial performance of the company. Then we execute the panel regression, and we find some hidden realities in the annual reports of the companies. So if we talk about the thematic analysis, we explore different types of themes from the pictures, from the text, and from the other type of data. So yes, today's workshop is regarding thematic analysis. We will definitely discuss thematic analysis in detail. Yes, Dr. Saidon.
Okay, thank you so much. And there is another question before we go on. I think you have already answered, but maybe you would like to add something more. Can you elaborate the benefits of using NVivo?
Okay, there are so many benefits, but ultimately you will be better in the position to compare the benefits of NVivo after this session. So let me complete first, and then all the people who are asking this question, what are the benefits, they will practically see the benefits of this software.
Okay, there are many questions about using this tool and to conduct different type of analysis. I will keep them because you will continue, because at the end of workshop, maybe these questions will be already answered. So I will give you the stage again.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Saran. So, audience, we were discussing about data organization, and now what we are going to import in this software. I have already created different folders. These are different categories of the data, like focus group discussion, like interviews, like pictures. So, software has arranged all these categories alphabetically, in the ascending orders. So now we have another type of data, which is the observation, the field notes. So we are the social scientists. We are not conducting our research in the labs. So we conduct the research in the fields. So that's why I have mentioned this is the field notes. So whenever you conduct the observation, then definitely whatever you observe from your surroundings, you need to put the themes and the realities, your observation on a particular document, and that document is known as field notes. So here we have four different types of data I categorize. Now one by one I'm going to import all these types of data. So for example, the first one is field notes. So I need to select this particular option, field notes, and here I need to click on import ribbon tab. And yes, here we have the option. Here we go, files, and yes, we need to locate that particular files in the field notes. So we need to select uh, the desktop data. Yes, I have this workshop on NVivo data, and these are the field nodes. I need to select both field nodes simultaneously. I can select both files, and if you have more file, so NVivo will allow you to select all the files. This is very wonderful option, and you can open this particular files and import. So it will take time. Yes, my goodness. All these two files are here, field notes 1 and field note 2. Okay, we have successfully imported the field notes in this particular folder. So now I'm going to import focus group discussion. This is very wonderful method for the collection of data. So software is also guiding you how to import the files. So you need to click on import, then files, or survey or and capture commands. So we are going to import the files. So I need to select this particular folder, focus group discussion, and then I need to select import, then files option. Yes, I need to come back into the main folder. Here we have this particular folder, focus group discussion. I need to select this particular file, import, and this is the video file. So here it depends upon the speed of your you know, processing speed of your system and your memory capacity. So it will take time to import your data file. Okay, that's great. So if you import a single file, then it will ask about the you know, properties, video properties. We can change the color. We can also give the color of to this particular file. We can also change the name of this particular file. This is the focus group discussion. But here I'm just going to click OK. So we have successfully imported this particular focus group discussion. And if I want to open this file, this is too simple. You need to double click on this particular file. In another window or in another part of this NVivo software will display this particular video on the right side. So this is the video file, and here you can see a number of people sitting and discussing about a particular issue. So we can also play this particular video. So everybody is contributing. So this is the beauty of focus group discussion, and we have successfully imported focus group discussion file. So I need to close this file. Now I'm going to import interview files. We have different interview files, and if I click on this interview, then import files. Yes, I need to come back toward the main folder, interviews. I need to open the interview files, and these are all interview files I can select simultaneously. So here the software has given the inverted commas to separate all the files in the file names. So the software will be able to open all the data, all the files regarding the interviews. So I just click open, import. So it will take time because some files are video files and one file is the audio file and 3 files are the document files. So what is the reason of taking the different types of files? The reason is that I have intentionally uh, provided different types of files regarding the interviews. Why? The reason is that somebody, if you conduct the interview, somebody say, oh, I'm not going to give the interview on camera. So you can record my voice, but I'm not going to allow you to record my video. So particularly in Pakistan, a number of females reluctant to give the interview on camera. So there are different cultural norms, and ultimately then you need to record the voice. So here we have respondent 7 R7, and we conducted the recorded interview. So there is another category of the respondents. Somebody say that oh, I'm not going to give the interview neither on camera, the recording of my video, or no on my voice. So I will not give you the permission to record my voice or my video. So that definitely you will need to uh, create a document. So here we have this respondent 4, respondent 5, and respondent 6. So we have the textual data, and we have different questions. For example, this is the questions by Henry, and these are the answers by Barbara. So you need to document all the information you are asking from the respondents, and the respondent is giving you the answer, and you need to document all the statements. So maybe in Pakistan, people use shorthand. So people are very expert in coding language. So they, use some symbols of shorthand language, and later on they could reconvert into the English language textual data. So for the further analysis. So I have also the video files. If I click respondent 1, this is the absolutely the video file, and very wonderful interview by this Tony Fireman. If I open this file, I can play it.
The worst thing about depression is that when you're in it, it's hard to recognize.
So this is my, video recorded file, and it is very easy to import all these files. So I have successfully imported the field notes, focus group discussions, and interview files. So we have 3 different types of interviews. One, the video recorded interview. Second is the document-based interview. And the third one is audio recorded interview. So if I open this audio recorded interview R7, you will not see the picture. So there is only voice. If you play this audio.
This first photo is a picture of Louise, and she's working in Sri Lanka on a series of conservation projects. Any thoughts about Louise and her volunteer work?
Well, I think doing any kind of volunteer work I expect a foreign country, because I suspect Louise is not Sri Lankan.
Okay, this is another way to conduct the interview. You can also conduct the interview through the audio recording using your mobile phone, your cell phone, or using any other recording device. So I have shared about the different types of the interviews and the way of conducting the interviews. And now coming back toward the field notes files, I have these 2 PDF documents. So these are 2 the documents. So what are the reasons of depression? So we are assuming that this is not the actual data. So this is hypothetical data we are going to use in this particular session. So we are assuming that these are the actual field notes, and we are assuming that you practically experience this particular themes by observing the surroundings, by observing your realities, and you mention all the information on the document, and later on you imported this particular document field notes in this NVivo software for the analysis. So now we are going to import the picture files. So NVivo software also supports the analysis on the pictures. So we can easily import pictures If you click on this particular folder, this is the first step. You need to select a relevant folder or the relevant option, and then we click on import ribbon tab, and then files. So we have picture files. I need to open the pictures, and here I have 4 pictures, but 2 are the identical. So here I can open that particular picture, all the picture one by one I can open. If I double click on this particular picture, and NVivo software will create and will show the picture in a separate box, in a separate area. So this is the picture, and we can also zoom this particular picture. So for your clarification, for your more understanding, you can use this particular option, zoom in or zoom out, according to your convenience. So this is the picture, and we can conduct the analysis on the picture. And now after importing the data files, the next step is to transcribe the audio or video recorded data, because we have field notes, and if you open the field notes, all the field notes are already in textual form. So we can select the text. These are already in textual form. No need to transcribe or retranscribe these documents. So these are already in textual form. Now we are going to open focus group discussion. Yes, if we open this particular focus group discussion, we can find that this focus group discussion is the video recorded file. And now what we need to do, uh, we need to transcribe this particular video or audio recorded file. So transcription means it is the process to convert the audio or video recorded data into textual form. So we are going to apply that particular process. And when we talk about the process means the series of activities which convert the input into output. So process means the series of interrelated activities which convert the input into output. So this is the input, the videos are the input, but what will be the output? Output will be the textual data. So we are going to convert this audio, this sounds into text. So there are different methods to transcribe the data. So one method is to apply the auto transcription option. So if you want to apply the auto transcription option, you need to click module, and then you need to click transcribe, online transcription services. So this is another feature by NVivo QSR company they introduced in their latest NVivo software. So, but this is trial, and initially they collect the small file and then convert into the textual form. So they claim that 90%, up to the 90%, they confirm the accuracy of the data, because if your data is purely in English language, so ultimately your data will be transcribed up to 90%, according to the accent, and according to the flow and the speed of the interview or focus group discussion or whatever. So but it depends. If you are going to collect the data from the people who are not expert in that particular language, for example English language, so ultimately the accuracy rate will be lower. So the best way to transcribe the interview files is to apply the manual coding. So if we go for the manual coding, then this is very simple. We need to open this particular file. For example, this particular video recorded file, we need to click edit option. If you click edit option, then your cursor is blinking here in the content box. So edit means you are going to change something in this particular video. So here we have 2 columns. One is time span, and the second one is the content. So time span is the time, starting time and the ending time. So you have to mention the starting time and ending time of that particular recording. So here you need to put the contents. Contents mean the text. So what is the method to transcribe the to apply the manual transcription? So there are different steps. So first step, I just want to repeat my steps for the transcription. So if somebody wants to write the things on the paper, so it will be the great opportunity to make a document for your future practice. So I need to open this particular file. The first step is to open a video or audio recorded file. This is very simple. You have just opened this particular file, and the second step is to click on edit option. So this is the second step. And if you click on edit option, you will find that software will allow you to enter the data in time span and in content option, content column. So now we need to transcribe the data. So what will be the new next step? So the next step is to click on this transcribe button. So here the button is very small. If you focus on the play mode section in the edit option, so this is another ribbon tab. When you open the video, software will open the video ribbon tab, and when you click on edit, software will repeat all the options in the video and create another ribbon tab, which is edit. So all these are the options in the video ribbon tab. So now what we are going to apply in the next step, we need to click on this particular transcribe button. And if you put your mouse on this transcribe button from the play mode section, this is the play mode section, and this is the third button, transcribe. And transcription mean conversion of audio or video recorded data into textual form. You need to click on this transcribe button. Now this button is selected. Okay, and then you need to click on play or pause button. So here you need to put your mouse pointer on this particular button, play or pause, and its shortcut key is F4. So I will strongly recommend you don't use two input devices for the transcription, like your mouse pointer and your keyboard. So if you're simultaneously using both input devices, then ultimately you will waste your time. So you need to use only your keyboard. So you need to use the shortcut key. So here we are going to play this particular video. So software is asking to save the data. So I need to save this particular project. And here I need to click on the play pause button. So when you click on the play pause button, software will automatically play this particular video and started the time span, starting time span 0 second, 0 microsecond. So software started the video, and now your cursor is blinking in the content box. It's mean now you are in the position to write something, to transcribe something. You can convert your video into textual form. This is very simple. So here it is the test of your memory. So kids have more memory as compared to adults. So we already filled our memory through the different data, through the different life experiences. So definitely if you are very good in your memory, so you need to listen very carefully this particular video, and then you play and pause. So F4 is the key. You need to play and listen carefully, then pause, and then you need to write whatever you need. You have just listen, you need to write here. So ABC, you need to write in the content box. So all the statements, all the video, you need to transcribe in this content box. But here I have another option, because I already transcribed the videos. So I have this particular folder on the desktop. Yes, folder is transcribed data. Okay, interviews. I have this interview folder, and this is the transcribed data folder, and this is demo one. So demo one mean this is the document of the transcription. So what I need to do, I need to open this particular demo one. Oh yes, this is the data file, and here I need to save my time. I'm just going to copy or cut just to ensure the data duplication, just to avoid the data duplication. So I need to copy and paste here in this particular section. I need to copy from this particular document, cut, and then paste. Yes, this is great. So, but actually, what we are expecting from you people, you need to listen carefully each and every statement, and then you need to write here in the content box. So this is the transcription of the data, and one by one, you need to transcribe your focus group discussion. So if you have one file of focus group discussion, then definitely you will transcribe only one file by putting your textual data. So the thing is, I just want to clear a very important information regarding the focus group discussion. So if you are going to transcribe the focus group discussion, you need to mention here the name of every participant. For example, here if the first participant said Ali said something, so you need to put Ali. Then there is another participant and he's saying like Sarah, so Sarah say this one, and then you need to put another participant in the focus group discussion like Hassan, like this. So in this way, you need to put different names of the participants who are involved in the focus group discussion. So this is the way to transcribe the focus group discussion. So after transcribing the focus group discussion, we are going to transcribe the interview files. So here we have 7 different interview files, and one by one we can transcribe all these interview files. So, but the thing is that we have only 3 video recorded interviews, and we have 1 audio recorded interview. Rest of the files are already in the textual form. So there is no need to transcribe respondent 4, respondent 5, and respondent 6. So all these interviews have been already transcribed, or we have already these interviews already in the textual format. So here we can open one by one all the video recorded files. The first file is respondent 1. I need to open R1. Yes, this is the interview respondent 1. We need to click edit. Yes, here we can put some information. So the steps are the same. We need to open the file, we need to click on edit, we need to click on transcribe button in the play mode section. So here I just click on the play mode section, the transcribe button, and then I need to click play and pause option. Now
The worst thing
the file is ready to transcribe.
is that when you're in it, it's hard to recognize. I mean, take me. I'm a fireman.
You need to listen the first statement and then use F4 key to pause, and then you need to write here whatever you have just listened from that particular respondent. So I need to save the time. I have already data. This is the random data, not relating to these interviews, but this is the data for the this training session, just for the understanding of this concept. So practically you need to listen each and every statement in your manual transcription. You need to mention here, and then you can close this particular interview file. So we are going to repeat the same steps for the respondent 2. We are going to open respondent 2 and then click edit, and then we need to choose transcribe option from the play mode section in the edit ribbon tab, and then you need to click on play or pause button.
Hi, my name's Jeff Cowan. I'm the youngest brother of Graham Cowan, the author of Back from the Brink and Back from the Brink 2, which is going to be due out in September. One of the things with all the research that Graham's done is realised that, of course, there are many different elements, and of course, one of which in everyday life is the workplace. And of course, that brings us to another point: is that discussing depression in the workplace. How does someone go about that? Thanks to Beyond Blue, Black Dog, and other organisations, there's been a lot of awareness of depression in the workplace. There's been a lot of progress in that regard. One area where there still is.
Okay, so we need to write whatever you have listened from that particular person, the respondent. So here the content box is available, but I'm going to use the textual data available in the demo1 file. To save my time, I need to copy and just paste the data here in this particular file, content box. So if I click on stop button, it will give the ending time span. So from this time span to this time span, it is showing that this is the transcription. And whenever you are going to reopen this particular file, for example, I'm going to close this respondent 2, and in the very next day, if you are going to reopen this same file, because sometime when you are going to start the transcription of your data, then your time you have limited time, then you need to engage yourself in some other activities. So whenever you will come back and reopen that particular interview file, then it is very simple. Then if you reopen and you need to transcribe the rest of the data, so the step will be the same. You need to reopen that particular file and then click edit, and then you need to click on transcribe button from the play mode section, and then you need to select play or pause button from the edit ribbon tab, and then the new row or the new record in the transcribe in this particular content and time span will be ready, and there will be the new time span and the new column for the data transcription, and this would be the transcription. If you are not going to transcribe the file in only one time, single time, if you have multiple times, and you are going to take some breaks in transcription, then you need to reopen your data files. Okay, Dr. Siren, if somebody wants to ask the question, meanwhile, I'm going to reopen this program. You can ask the question.
Okay, thank you. Actually, there is a related that there are many related questions. For example, can the software analyze the video without transcription? Is it
Sorry?
possible? Is it possible to analyze the video without transcription by using the software? I mean, do we have to does this transcription is necessary? Is it necessary?
Yes, the transcription is you need to transcribe the data, then you will be able to go for the further analysis for finding some themes and for exploring the realities from the data. So there must be the transcription. So without transcription, you cannot go for the further analysis of the videos.
Okay, thank you. There is another question. What is the analyzing limits and drawbacks of this software?
So you're asking what are the disadvantages or drawbacks of this software?
The first question is analyzing limit. Is there a limitation?
Yes, of course. Every software has different limitations, and NVivo software has a number of limitations. So day by day, they are adding more features, and according to the things are rapidly changing. And if you are going to conduct the survey through surveymonkey.com, so NVivo needs to put the new things regarding the surveymonkey.com to link that particular option with NVivo commands. So they also introduced the new feature of how to handle the data through the surveymonkey.com. And so according to the needs and according to the new technologies and the new ways of data collection and analysis, they are introducing new features in their existing variants to advance their existing software. So ultimately, there are a number of some limitations, and software company is trying to fill that particular gap.
Excuse me. Oh, hold on, Siddhan, one moment. So, Dr. Lodi, the question is basically like this. So many people are confused with one thing, and that is, let's say I interview somebody using video or audio, right? Outside of NVivo, I interview. Now I have the video file or audio file. So there are two ways of doing it. One is I manually transcribe it by myself. I listen to it, I transcribe it in Word document, and then import the Word document in NVivo. Right? This is one way. The other way is I import the video or audio file in NVivo and then let NVivo transcribe it. But then I still have to check it just to make sure that there's no problem there. Is that how it's done?
Okay, Dr. Faizan, I was opening the software and now it's working. So could you please repeat your question?
Yeah, so what I'm asking is this. So let's say I interview you for something using Zoom or using any video software, right? So let's say I interview you. Now to put it in, to analyze it, I obviously need to transcribe it. I need text data to analyze it. I cannot analyze video as per
Yes,
se.
of course.
So I have
Yes,
two options. One is I can transcribe it manually, like without NVivo or whatever. I can just watch the video and type everything and transcribe it, and then import the Word document into NVivo. This is option number one. Option number two is I import the video file into NVivo and then let NVivo transcribe it, but I still have to double check it because it's a software-based transcription and we need to make sure that everything is correct. Is that correct? Is that right?
Okay, but then you will waste your time. Then it would be double effort. If you have time, then you can apply both ways to for the auto transcription through NVivo software, and through the transcription by using some other transcribers. So I think if the data is the same, the results will be same. So if there are some, discrepancies or the differences, then manually you can change some, words or some transcription manually. So because I always advise to the teachers and the principal investigators, never ever give your project to the students free of cost to transcribe their interviews, because sometimes students skip the data, sometimes students don't bother the things in the data. So maybe if your videos are for 1 hour, maybe you will get the transcription of 30 minutes video. So definitely it is your project, so you need to transcribe your project because you have more understanding. So during the transcription, it is a great opportunity to explore different themes, to understand your underpinning, to understand the uh, ground realities hidden in the data. So when you transcribe your data, so a number of themes you explore, you find, you understand a number of things in your textual data. So I will always recommend you should go for the manual coding, and it is great because software has its own limitations. So if somebody is conducting the interview in Pakistan, so a number of people, maybe in Turkey, they are promoting their own language, Turkish language, and in Pakistan, number of people they are not in position to give the interview in English. So if somebody is giving the interview in English, so their accent is not up to the requirement of the software. So software is software, but when you will apply the manual transcription, I will recommend that it will be great. But the thing is that there are a number of other transcription software, and Vivo software is for the qualitative data analysis, and they are introducing and they are providing a number of features. So they are not specialized in transcription. So they have just added this new feature of transcription, but there are a number of companies worldwide, they are providing the transcriber softwares. So you may opt their option, you may opt the option of another transcriber, and first you put your video recorded data or audio recorded data in that particular transcriber, and later on you can bring the document file in NVivo for the further analysis. So it is also recommended.
Correct. So thank you, Dr. Lodi. You answered it in great detail. So I see there are some people confused, and it makes sense also asking that, okay, if I have to manually do everything, even in the software, what's the point of bringing it in the software? I just want to give you a quick example to all of you who are confused. Maybe most of you have traveled by air. So 10 years ago, when there were no security scanners for your baggage, you would take your bag and the security people would open every bag individually and check what's going on in the bag, right? That is sort of manual. Now you have that X-ray machine. So you put your bag, it takes the bag pretty quick. If there is a problem, then they ask you to open the bag. If not, you just go ahead and it saves time. So this manual and automatic transcription is pretty much like this. I think if you have 5 interviews or 6 interviews, 20 minutes, 30 minutes each, then you can do manual. But if you have 20 interviews, 2 hours each, then manual is going to take a long time. So you can do some transcription with manual check later on just to make sure everything is consistent. All right, Dr. Lodi, you
Thank you so
can.
much, Dr. Fazan, for giving the wonderful example. So I just lost my data and reopened my file, and I'm repeating the same steps to copy the transcribed data in my respondent 1, respondent 2, and then in respondent 3. So all these are the 3 video recorded files. I need to copy the text and put in that particular document. So if I open respondent 4, respondent 4 is the file which is already in the textual form. So there is no need to transcribe it because Henry is asking the question and Barbara is giving the answers. So there are different questions and there are different answers in this particular interview. So similarly, respondent 5, respondent 6 are the same. So if I open respondent 7, this is the audio recorded file and I need to click edit, and here I can put the textual data. So I just copy and paste here. But actually, what is the way to transcribe the document? You need to open this particular document. You need to click on play button. You need to click on you need to click on transcribe button. You need to click on play and pause button. Then automatically software will start
Louise, and she's working in Sri Lanka
that
on a series
particular
of conservation
file, and then you need to listen, and whatever you listen, you need to type here manually. So when you click stop, it will stop the recording. So there are two. I need to delete this first one. So here we have only one cell containing the textual information regarding respondent 7. So this is the second step. And after importing the data files, you need to transcribe your audio or video recorded data. So if your data is in recorded form, either video or audio, you need to transcribe your data files. And after the transcription, we are going to perform the next step, which is data coding and thematic analysis. So you need to write this particular step on the paper. This is very important step. What we are going to do here, uh, data coding and thematic analysis. So there are different ways to apply the thematic analysis. A number of methodologies suggested different ways to identify the themes, to categorize the sub themes and into different categories, and to identify the main themes and to report the findings. So transcription is also the part of thematic analysis. So but today I'm going to convey and I'm going to share a very simple method to transcribe and to identify the different themes from the statements and to code the statements and create different codes. So previously in NVivo 10 or in Vivo 11 or 12, they introduced the particular terminology like nodes. But here in NVivo, latest NVivo, we have the terminology of code. So code doesn't mean, here code mean a particular theme or sub theme. It depends upon the study. So we are going to code the data. Okay, Dr. Faizan, I need to reopen this particular software, and I think there is some technical problem. And if you have further question, you can also take another question.
Okay, just before we go with questions, so I see that many people are asking about the language compatibility. I just posted some languages, and many of these questions are also answered on NVivo's own community, right? So, which languages you can find support for? There are several languages that you can check. I post a link in the comments also, and I just posted it on the screen here also for transcription. Dr. Lodi, if you know anything else about which languages can NVivo work with?
Okay, there are a number of languages, and if you open NVivo software guidelines, you will find a list of languages like Chinese language, Russian language, a number of languages. You can put the data and you can transcribe. But unfortunately, the Urdu language, we are living in Pakistan, so NVivo does not support the transcription and the analysis on the Urdu language. So you need to convert. If you conduct the interviews in Urdu language or in any other language which is not supported by NVivo software, then you need to transcribe and translate. So both things you need to apply. If you have conducted the interviews, for example, in Urdu language or in any other language which is not supported by NVivo software, then you need to first translate that particular language. So if you are not conducting the language sensitive study, for example, if you are conducting the study on information systems or management or marketing or any other discipline which is not the language sensitive, then definitely you being a researcher, you can translate and transcribe. But if you are conducting some the language sensitive studies, then you need to uh, transcribe and translate through the language expert. So if you are not language expert, so the language expert must has the command on the both languages, for example in Urdu language and in English language. So sometime if you are coming from the Urdu language, the contextual meanings are different. So when you are going to convert the word into English, then it will not fully convey the meaning in that particular context. So ultimately, you need to hire some language expert.
Okay, Dr. Lodi, there was a question, and that was about how do you analyze pictures? How the analysis for pictures work?
Okay, Dr. Fazan, in my next step, I'm just going to perform the same steps. So I'm facing some technical issues, but I hope I have resolved these issues, and I'm just going to share my screen.
Okay, perfect. One other question, Dr. Lodi, that I felt was very interesting was this one from Afan. He says that when you write, there is also space and punctuations and stuff like this in conversation. Do you know if NVivo interprets it?
Sorry, could you please repeat your question?
There's a question that says that when you are writing something in the text, you also have spaces and punctuations like question mark or exclamation mark or something like this, which has a meaning in a conversation. Does NVivo interpret it or not?
Yes, of course. When you conduct the discourse and conversational analysis, you can go for these options. So these are very important connectors. You know, connectors are those words which connect two different words. So you can go for the analysis of these connectors. But ultimately, this is the qualitative research, and researchers' involvement matters a lot than the software involvement. So your own involvement will define the actual path. So if I summarize the answer, then definitely we can do through NVivo software, but your involvement being a researcher will matter a lot for defining these connectors and these transitions in your textual data.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lodi. Dr. Sadan, do you have any other questions from the chat?
Yes, there is this question: is data triangulation possible through NVivo software?
Okay, data
Data
triangulation, that's
triangulation.
wonderful question. So what we are doing this data triangulation. There are different types of triangulation, like the investigator triangulation, where more than one investigators are conducting the study, and theoretical triangulation, where you are going to apply more than one theories in the model, and then the methodological triangulation, where you are going to apply more than one methodology, like case study, like grounded theory, like ethnography, like survey research design. So this is the methodological triangulation, and there is also the data triangulation. So Denzin is a very famous researcher who introduced these types of triangulation. And if we talk about the data triangulation, we apply more than one type of data in a particular study. So this is what we are doing. So we are using the field notes, we are using the focus group discussions, we are using the interviews, we are using the pictures. So this is basically the data triangulation. We are applying more than one types of data. So we can also go for the data from the social media, or the data from the websites, and data from the annual reports of the companies. So that would be the data triangulation. So we are doing the data triangulation in this particular project.
Okay, there were also similar questions like how can we link multiple sources of data, or can we use multiple options at the same time? Your answer is quite clear for those questions as well, right?
Okay, yes, we can compare the multiple sources of data. If your objectives are the same and you are applying the multiple sources of data collection, but you are asking the same, you are looking the same information from multiple sources. So definitely you will go for the comparison. You need to compare the data and the results from one source with the other source. So there are different ways you can compare the findings. So later on, we'll apply different types of, explore different tree maps, hierarchical charts, or the different graphs, and these graphs will be very suitable, very helpful for that particular comparison. So.
Okay, thank you. And there are different questions about grounded theory. How grounded theory is done? How do we use it in NVivo software?
Okay, yes, there are different methods to apply the grounded theory, and we can also go for the first level, the open coding, then the selective coding, and then the axial coding for defining their relationships. So there are different types of codings, and today I will also discuss the different types of relationship, like the one-way relation or association, or like the two-way or symmetrical relationship. So all these kinds of relationship we define in while applying the grounded theory. So there is no sequence of the coding. So maybe we go for the selective coding first, then open coding in the later stage. So there are different methodologists who define this grounded theory, but the researcher decide the way or the sequence of the coding. Either they define the first categories, and then according to categories they explore the different themes, or first they explore the themes and later on categorize into different broader categories, and then define their relationships. So we must apply the different types of codings through NVivo software. And today I will also give you the information about the different types of codings, and defining the relationships, and also categories of the different themes. Like it is just like the construct. If you are measuring the construct on the second order, so there are different questions, the different items of the dimensions. So each dimension is the the category. So in a particular category you will find the themes, or you will find the items or elements of the similar nature, and then you combine all the dimension into one construct. So in this way, you can explore and operationalize different types of construct. So this is the way to develop the new instrument. So we apply these kinds of analysis, qualitative analysis, to develop the new instrument, new measurement model through the qualitative research.
Okay, there are other questions, but those are about the analysis itself. So maybe it's time to leave the stage to you.
Okay, that's great. So somebody asked the question how to conduct the analysis on the pictures. So here, after transcribing the focus group discussion and interviews, we are going to analyze the pictures. So analysis of picture is also very interesting. So here we need to open the particular picture file. So this is very simple. We need to double click the picture, and in that particular box, software will display that particular picture. You can also change the size of this particular region according to your convenience, and you can also change the size of this picture. And yes, so similarly, in the same line, just we transcribe the audio recorded files or video recorded interviews. So we need to edit this particular picture. Similarly, we have just done with the interview files. So when you click on this particular edit option, so software will allow you to write something in the content box. So here you can write some story, you can write some phrase, you can write some statements, you can write some passages, you can write some word or some, the complete story. It depends upon you. Whatever you are going to extract from this particular picture or the different regions of the picture. So for the analysis of the picture, we see the different regions of the picture. So in this particular region, we find different themes. So actually, picture normally depict the different, different areas, not these themes. So this is a fake picture. So here we can see the different themes in this particular picture. A person is under the different problems, or the peer pressure, daily upsets, or exams, or job stress, or the simple stress and overdue bills, homework deadlines. There are a number of things, just like a student, for a student. So here, if you are going to analyze the pictures from the beautiful sceneries, and particularly in the discipline of hospitality and tourism research, the tourist capture different types of pictures. Some pictures are the family pictures, some are the pictures of beautiful sights, and some are your selfies, some are your the pictures of some objects, and there are different types of pictures. So you if you're going to analyze the pictures, you need to extract different themes from the picture. So here, if you capture the different themes, then you need to put some story or some themes, or some poetry in that particular content section. So after putting the information in the content section, then you will be able to go for the further steps, for applying the different steps. So here I'm just going to mention stress in the content box. I can write the complete story, complete passage about the stress, or whatever I just have found on this particular picture. So I need to fill this content box with the full of the information. Then in the next step, I need to select the region from where I extracted this particular theme. So I need to select that particular region. And after selecting that particular region, the option is this edit ribbon tab, assign region to row. So here this option is disabled, but when I click on this region box, blank box, okay. So this option is now enabled, and I need to click on this particular option. So here I have these, the pixels or the regions. So software automatically selected the region. So software is defining that from this particular region, you have extracted this particular theme. So here, because of the shortage of time, I'm not going to write some story in the content box. I have just mentioned stress. So stress is the theme, but you need to put the complete story here, and it depends upon your knowledge, your expertise, or your prior knowledge in this particular field. So you need to put the complete contents here, or you can also conduct this kind of analysis from your respondents. And for example, if I go for my class, and through the multimedia projector, I display different pictures to the students, and I give them activity. So there are four steps in this particular activity. You need to see this particular picture. This is the first step. And in the next step, you need to extract different themes. So maybe your themes may be the identical or the same, or maybe you will find some new themes. Normally, it is said that 98% people thinks alike, and 2% people thinks differently. So my students will observe the pictures, and they will write the different themes in the second step. And in the third step, I will say you can write some stories, some poetry, some phrases or some words on the paper. And in the fourth step, you need to share whatever you have mentioned on the paper. You need to share with the other class fellows and with the class teachers. So this is the activity, and I usually conduct in my classes, and this is the content analysis. We can show the pictures to the students, and we can say that this is the thematic analysis and thematic content analysis. Maybe you can find some quantitative features from the picture, and then later on you can code them, and you can analyze through the different differential statistics like the t-test or ANOVA if your data is normally distributed, or otherwise you can go for the Mann-Whitney U-test or Wilcoxon test or Friedman test for applying the non-parametric techniques to test the difference in the quantitative figures. So this is the basically activity, very wonderful activity you can conduct in your class, and you can also conduct with the respondents. So you can show these kinds of pictures to the respondents. For example, if you're designing some advertisements, so if your area is marketing, then you can conduct some experiments on your customers. So you can select the different customers, different respondents. You can show them the different pictures, and maybe if you're going to conduct some experiments, you can show them the pictures in the first stage, and after some time you add some new features or some creative advertisements in that particular picture, and you redisplay the same picture in front of the same respondents, in front of the same customers. So then you can compare their observations before adding some new features or some creative contents in the advertisement, and after adding some new features or adding some new creative advertisement in the picture. So then you can compare your results. So this is basically the way we can show the pictures to the respondents. So otherwise you can also take the pictures, you can also depict the pictures from internet, and you need to take some permission from the original source whether you should use this particular picture, and if they allow, then you can utilize that particular picture for your analysis. So this is the way to conduct the thematic analysis on the pictures. You can explore different themes, and then later on you can create different codings on those particular information. So after transcribing and extracting the information from the picture after transcribing the interview files and your focus group discussion. The next step is data coding and thematic analysis. So this is very wonderful step and very important step. So without this step, we cannot generate different kinds of findings through NVivo software. So now one by one, we need to open all the interview files. So we start from respondent one. We are going to open respondent one. Here we are going to code this textual data because now this video is useless. So now we have the data, textual data. We have the value of this textual data. So now what we need to do, we are going to create some codes. So here I'm going to share a statement. A father sold his land to arrange marriage of his daughter Amna and for sending his son Ahmed to America for the higher education or for getting the higher education from America. So this is the statement, and we are going to conduct the thematic analysis on this particular statement. But I'm expecting from you, you need to read this statement for many times to understand the actual themes or the meanings. What is the meaning behind this particular statement? So the statement is saying that a father has sold his land to meet the expenses on the marriage of his daughter Amna and for sending his son Ahmed to America for getting the higher education degree. So this is the statement, and we can find different types of themes from this particular statement. For example, the first theme is gender discrimination. So why gender discrimination? The reason is that father is spending money for the education only for the son, not for the daughter, Amna. So the father is more conscious about the marriage of his daughter Amna, and he is not conscious about the marriage of his son Ahmed. So this is the first theme, gender discrimination. And the second theme may be, if we read this statement from the first word. The first word is a father sold his land. So why father? Why not mother? So the second theme may be the male dominant factor in their culture. So there is only the right to the father to sell the fixed asset or property, and mother has no right. So this is the male dominant culture, and the father has sold the land. Why he sold the land? He needs more money. So if he give the land on the rent and get the rent or lease payment from the land, so his requirements may not be fulfilled. So this is the reason that he's selling the land. So because he needs more money. So similarly, if we go for the further words, a father sold his land to arrange the marriage. Why the father is going to arrange the marriage of his daughter Amna? Why Amna is not going to arrange her marriage by own self? So this is the culture. Culture in that particular region that parents arrange the marriages of their kids. So the father sold the land to arrange the marriage of his daughter Amna and sending his son Ahmed to America. So why the father is going to send Emma to America? Why not in some other countries? So I'm not going to mention the name of other countries, but why the father is biased? So what is the reason that father has the aim or the plan to send his son Ahmed to America for the higher education program? What is the reason? Because we are very inspired with the higher education degree program, higher education of America, yeah, American universities. So there is another theme, higher education. So this statement is also depicting the theme that Ahmed has completed the basic education. So now he is going to get admission in the higher education program. So there is another theme. What is the future perspective? So this is the future plan or the future security of the father. Future security for the father when the Ahmed will come to the father to the homeland, then Ahmed will support his father in the old age. So maybe this is the future security of the father, and then Ahmed will also secure his future through the education, and Amna will secure the future through the marriage. So her husband will protect uh, his daughter Amna. So this is the future security for all the people. So we can also explore a number of themes: father concern or father sacrifice. Sacrifice is also another theme. So we can explore a number of themes from this particular statement, number of meanings. But the question is that if we are going to code this particular statement, if I I will say you people just to select this statement and code this particular statement in only a single meaning, or that meaning will be the theme of that particular statement. So what would be that particular theme if I would ask this question from you people? So here we have a lot of people and it is difficult, but you people can mention your comments and where you're asking your questions. You can mention the different themes that this theme will be the suitable. If you mention all these themes one by one, then I will say you that all of you are right. And if uh, you mention all these themes again, then I will say that all of you are wrong. So it depends. The right answer is that it depends upon the objective of your study. So what you are looking from this particular statement. So if you are looking for the gender discrimination, then you need to code the statement in gender discrimination. If you are looking for the male dominant culture, if you are looking for the needs more money, if you are looking for the cultural constraints, and if you are looking for the education inspiration or the American education, so these would be your theme. It totally depends upon the objective of your research, what you are looking from that particular statement. So according to your research objectives, you need to code this statement. For example, we will discard all the other themes and we will code this particular statement in this particular theme, gender discrimination. So we will discard all the other themes. So it doesn't mean that we cannot code one statement into many themes. We can code this statement into three themes or four themes if all these if all these themes are, fulfilling the objective of your research, then definitely you may go for multiple themes out of one statement. So now practically we are going to code these statements, and I have already mentioned that previously in NVivo 11 or in NVivo 12, or in NVivo 9 or 10, they used the terminology of nodes. So we create different nodes, and we put the data in different nodes. So nodes mean themes. So nodes mean themes or sub-themes. But here there is no word of nodes. So we replaced this word node with code. So now code mean themes or sub-themes. So here we are going to create different codes. And one thing you should keep in your mind that the nodes or code here the code is the container. You know the container. I have this class. This class is the container. So it contains water. But what is the difference between this class and the code or the node in NVivo software? So this class has capacity. If you put water, then a time will come. You will not be able to put more water. If you will put more water, the water will fall down. So, but there is no limit of the node or code in NVivo software. It is the unlimited container. You can put more data, more and more data. So NVivo container is just like the balloon. So if you put more air in the balloon, it will be more, it will be getting more size. So but again, the point is that there is a limit of balloon, physical balloon, but in NVivo, there is no limit of the container. So if you want to put more data, the container size will be more. So in this way, in the end, through the different diagrams, like the hierarchy chart, like the tree map, you will be able to compare the different themes, different codes. So how you will compare, because some themes will have more region and some themes will have less region. So according to their codings, according to their recommendations from the interview files, there would be the different size of the codes, different size of the themes. So if some themes are more critical, you will have more coding against them. So this is the way. Now, what we are going to do, we are going to read this statement like the father has sold the land and to arrange the marriage of his daughter Amna, and also for sending his son Emma to America for higher education. So in this way, you need to read this statement in this interview file. So critically and very actively, you need to read the statement, and then after that you need to decide a particular theme. For example, I'm doing this study, and this study is relating to determinants of depression. So what are the reasons of depression? So we are going to select this particular data and right click, and this is the code selection. I need to click on this code selection, and here there are different hierarchy of the codes. There are different levels. Like in the organization, there are different levels, like the top level management, middle level management, and the lower level management. So in this way, we can create the tree nodes. So this is the top level codes. You can create the new code through the top level, but you can also put some sub codes under the main level. So here you can click here. This is the first level code, new code. You can put the name of this particular code, or you can create these sub codes under this first code. So here, if you are going to find the determinants of depression, so I'm going to give the heading or the main category, determinants of depression here. And then after creating this particular code, I need to put some child codes. Child codes mean the code under the parent code. So this is the parent code, this is the main category, and here I'm going to create some further codes. So for example, if I decided the theme from this particular data that the negative thinking is the reason of depression, so this, we are assuming that this statement is depicting that negative thinking, if you think negatively, then definitely you will suffer the problem of depression. So this person is saying that if negative thinking is the reason of depression, but actually this is not the statement relating to negative thinking. We are only assuming for doing our project. So, but actually, when you will analyze practically your data, you will read this statement, and according to the theme of this statement, you need to decide a particular code, a particular name of the code. Code mean container. You are going to contain, you are going to create a container, and you are going to put this data into that particular container. So here we are going to create the child code under this parent code, and the child code name is negative thinking. So here we need to click code selection to new code. So we are going to code selection. Selection means this selected data. So we are going to put this data into that particular code, that particular theme, or that particular container we have just selected. So we are going to code this selected code. Here we are getting the message that our data is coding here under the code, and we are just going to move toward the next step. Similarly, we have selected this data. We are going to repeat the same step. There are different number of ways for coding your data. One way is to code selection. The second way, you can also use this bar for coding for selecting the theme. You can also go for the drag and drop method. So I will also apply drag and drop method, which is very easy. But for that particular method, you will have some codes initially, then you will be able to further select the data and put in the existing codes. So here we are going to read the next statement. Similarly, we are reading this statement. The father has sold the land and for sending his son Ahmed to America for the higher education and for arranging the marriage of his daughter Amna. So in this way, we are going to read this statement, and we are going to extract another theme. So according to this particular project, we are assuming determinants of depression, and we are assuming this particular person is saying that gender issue is the reason of depression. So I'm going to select, but actually this data is not saying the gender issue is the reason of depression. We are assuming for this particular practice, for this session. So we are going to select, right click this selected data, and then select code selection option. So here we are going to select this particular the parent code, and then we are going to select child code, because we are going to create a child code under the parent code, which is determinants of depression. So here we are going to create another code, which is gender issue. So this particular person is saying that because of negative thinking and because of gender issue, I face the problem of depression. So we are going to code the selection to this particular code. So here we are going to select another text statement, and this is your choice. You can right click code selection, and here we need to select the parent code, and under the parent code we are going to create the child code. And here we can mention another reason or depression. For example, your workload. If you are under a number of projects or number of workload, then definitely Dr. Faizan will can tell you about this particular sometime I feel that Dr. Fezan has started a number of projects. So ultimately it creates some, stress, and if stress prolongs, and it will create the problem of depression. So workload is another reason of depression. So I'm going to code this selection, and yes. So this is very wonderful and interesting exercise. So it is depending on the experience, prior experience, knowledge, expertise of the researcher. If you're expert in this area, then you will be able to code this particular data. And if you leave this project over your students, then ultimately your student has lesser data as compared to you. So ultimately student will not be able to extract the actual information what is this particular statement is depicting. So if you have panel of experts, if you are writing some, if you are working on a project, research project, then definitely all the peoples who are going to code this particular textual data, they must have some expertise and background knowledge about this area. Then they will be able to they will be able to extract the actual themes from out of that particular data. So I'm going to repeat the same step. This is very repetition, but this is very interesting. So I need to select the parent node, I need to click child node. So there are a number of reasons of depression, for example, genetic issues. So this is the problem in there, you know. mm, uh, if somebody is facing the problem of depression, his father is also in the same problem, his grandfather is also in the same problem. This is the genetic issue. So we are going to code the same, and this is the rest of the data. We can also code it, or we can leave it. So this is your choice. And if this statement is not depicting the complete meaning, so ultimately you can leave it. You can also leave the irrelevant transcription. So if it doesn't give you the meaning or the themes, you can leave it without coding the data. So we are going to create the child code, and there is another option like what are the reasons of depression, like migration. So if you migrate, if you leave your hometown, then definitely you will face the problem of depression. So here I'm going to close this respondent one, and from respondent one we have coded 5 different themes. So in this study we are now talking about the sub themes. So these are our themes. So if we declare them into the sub themes, then we need to categorize these particular sub themes into the main themes categories. So later on we can declare them sub themes, but here we are not categorizing them. So now the next one is this is the respondent one, and we have coded 5 different themes, and reference mean we have 5 times coded the data. So if you find the another statement for the same theme, then you can also code that particular theme, a particular statement in the same theme. Then your references will be different. Your references may be the double uh, as compared to the codes. So if you are coding again and again in the similar themes, then definitely your references will be more as compared to these codes. So now we are going to repeat the same steps for respondent 2. And what is the way of coding? We need to open respondent 2, and we need to read the statement. The father has sold the land and sent his son Ahmed to America and arrange the marriage of his daughter. So in this way, we need to read the statement very carefully, and we need to decide a particular theme. So this is the respondent 2. Here we have 2 options. Number 1, maybe this statement is depicting the same theme which has already been contributed by respondent 1. Then there is no need to create another theme or another node. So this is another option. But if this second respondent is saying something different or contributing some new theme, then definitely you will not go for the respondent one, the themes they contributed, because this is the new one. So for example, if we are assuming that this is the new one, so this is the mode disorder. So maybe mode disorder, if you continuously your mode is disturbed, then it may be the major reason of depression. So I'm going to code the selection and then determinants of depression. This is the new theme, which has not been contributed by respondent one. That's why we are going to create new. This is the create new child code, and here we are going to code the mode disorder problem. So here we have coded the data, and similarly, if we are assuming the same theme is going to be coded, then we need to open the themes or codes. So here we have coding option, here we have codes, all ready to go. So we need to open this codes, and in this way you can code in the existing nodes. We need to open, we need to clear the visual presentation of the themes we already identified. So this is the gender issue, genetic issue, migration, mood disorder, negative thinking, and workload. So for example, if the second respondent is telling about the same theme which has been contributed respondent one, for example, gender issues. So we are going to select and drag and drop on the gender issue. So here we have two files and two references. So automatically, this is the very simple way, very interesting, and it will save you much time. So you need to select and you need to migration. So this is very wonderful option. It will save your time, your energies. Okay, this is negative thinking. And this is the last one. We need to select and we need to workload. Okay, that's fine. So we have successfully coded respondent 2. Similarly, we are going to open respondent 3 for the coding purposes. So in this my training session, I'm using this particular project for conveying my message for your understanding, and it will give you the more understanding. So the reason is that because we are using this particular project, we have the topic, we have the different interview files. So in this way, you people will be able to understand more about this particular analysis. So here we have other data files, other data, and we can in this way cut and paste in this content box, and here we can start the coding. We are assuming that respondent 3 is also contributing the same themes. So in this way, we can select this statement and code the data. Here we can select and code. So all has two codings, but we need to create the distinction. So we are assuming that this particular person is contributing this far, this particular theme is contributing. So here we have coding twice. The same person negative thinking, he is telling about the negative thinking in the beginning of this interview and ending of this interview. This is the reason that here negative thinking has three files, three interview files, but with four references. Four references mean we coded negative thinking twice in the same interview files. So this is the difference between file or code and references. So now we are going back to interview files, and here we have respondent 4. We are going to apply the same coding technique. We are going to select the statement, and here we need to open the codes. And for example, I need to read this statement very carefully. I need to decide a theme. I need to select and code through dragging option. So here I'm coding my qualitative data. So these are the reference answers of the Barbara. Barbara is telling about the different themes, and according to the themes, we are coding the complete passages. So I have done the coding of respondent 3, and now I'm going to do respondent 4. I'm going to do the same activity for respondent 5. This is also the data file. There is no need of transcription. I'm going to open the codes. There are different themes. This is childless. I'm going to select this particular statement, and according to their particular meaning, or the theme, I'm going to code that particular statement in that particular container or the codes. So here I have coded the data in this way. And similarly, I'm going to code the respondent 6. So I think there's problem with respondent 7. That's why I'm going to skip the coding of respondent 7, which is the audio recorded, because whenever I open this particular file, the software, needs for the reopening. So this is the interview file, and I need to open codings. And this is the Dorothy and Henry. I need to put the Dorothy answers in the coding. Okay. In this way, I have coded the data. Okay, that's fine. So I have done the coding. This is the thematic analysis. We have extracted different themes, different meanings, and the different sub-themes. So we can categorize. So if somebody declared that this is the main theme, determinants, and these are the sub-themes, so this is fine. And somebody say that these are the main themes or the main factors, then we can declare it depends upon your study, nature of your study. If you further categorize that some factors are relating to the person, the individual factors, and some are the environmental factors, or the factor relating to other people. So we can further categorize them. So then we can declare that these are the sub themes and the main categories are the themes. So it depends upon the nature of the study. So now, after coding this particular data, what we are going to do, we can explore the different comparison of through the hierarchy chart. So it is similar, if you uh, if you understand the concept of regression. So we can apply this particular hierarchy chart, and then next and finish. So we have coded the data in the nodes, so we have no problem. Otherwise, we need to opt this selected items option. So I'm going to repeat this step. What we are going to do, we are going to explore the findings based on the codings, on the themes. We need to click the explore ribbon tab, then hierarchy chart. Hierarchy charts mean the tree maps, and we need to explore the tree maps or hierarchy charts. So we just selected this particular option, and then codes, on the basis of amounts of codes, we are going to create the hierarchy chart next. And all codes, because if you have more than one types of codes, like the sentiment codes, like the other types of code, relationship codes, then you can go for the selected items. And if you go for the selected items, you need to select codes here in the left side, and then you need to select your theme codes. Like you need to select this automatically descendants codes. If you select the parent code, automatically all the child nodes will be selected. Then you click OK, and then you click finish. Okay, this is, my goodness, all the themes are here. And the first line is depicting the determinants of depression, and under that particular there are different themes: negative thinking, mood disorder, migration. Okay, this is very wonderful finding, and this is relating to the just like the regression. Some themes have more region, like negative thinking, migration, gender issue, and workload has lesser as compared to these other. So we can compare that these themes are more critical, these factors are more critical, and these factors are least critical factors. So you can also export this diagram. You can right click, export hierarchy chart, and you can put in on your desktop. And if your desktop, yes, this one, you can create NVivo findings, a folder with NVivo findings, and you can open this particular folder to save your this particular hierarchy chart. So you can explain this particular hierarchy chart. This is your main findings, and this is based on the number of coding, but we need to apply for the item coded. This is important. So here you can item colors, and these are the different types of colors. If you select the green, or this is your own choice, according to your choice. If you have more than one categories, then you can give the different colors to different categories. For example, I have one category, determinants of depression. If you are also finding the outcomes of depression or the remedies to reduce the depression, then definitely you will have more categories, and under each category you will have different sub themes. So definitely you will have more than one hierarchy chart, and then you can give the different colors to each hierarchy chart to create some distinction in the finding section. So this is the hierarchy chart we can explore. And now what we are going to do in the next phase, we are going to categorize and classify the interview files. This is the new thing we are going to do, and I'm going to delete this particular respondent 7 because it is creating some trouble. And now we have 6 respondents, 6 interview files. So now what we are going to do, we are going to create them as a case, because these are the case. Software doesn't know that these are the case. We know that these are the cases. Why? Because these are the person, these are the people. So we are going to declare them case. So before declaring them as a case, we are going to create the case classification first. So here we have option case and case classification. Here we need to understand the unit of analysis. So if your unit of analysis is person or the organization, then you need to classify your unit of analysis or the respondents or the informants. So maybe your informant is different from your unit of analysis. So here we are going to create the classification. We need to right click on this blank area. Here we have this option, new classification. This is very wonderful option. We can create new classification, but here we have some predefined classification, maybe the person, maybe the organization. These are very commonly used classification. That's why software is suggesting you to add one or more predefined classification. So that's why we have selected people. Why? Because we collected data from the people. So we interviewed the people. So we selected person as classification. So we are going to classify the people according to age, according to gender, according to other attributes. So now we are going to create people as classification. So here we have the classification, and by default there are different attributes of these classification. Normally in research we do not disclose the name of the respondent. So here you can delete this attribute because we are not going to give the name. Here you can give the gender, age group, occupation, country of birth, email, or you can add some new attribute. For example, experience. So you can right click on the person and there is option of new attribute. You can here write the experience or the attribute or the demographic according to your own requirement. So this is the classification of the person. But if you remember, there are two suggested classification. One is the person and second one is the organization. So if you add the organization as classification, so this is also very simple. If your unit of analysis, if you are conducting the research on the companies and organizations, so you can create new classification, and here you can add the predefined classification as organization. And if you are conducting the research on the books or on the websites, then I will suggest you to create the new classification as website, where you need to categorize the websites according to the different attributes. So later on you need to add the different attributes, and according to the different values to each attribute. So here you can also go for the organization, and I'm going to create another classification which is organization. So there are different attributes to an organization, like organization name, sector, size, industry, and you can also add some more attributes here in this organization classification, like organization assets, like number of employees, like a type of business. So you can add some more attributes to that particular classification. So here we have this person classification. Now what we need to do, we need to link the interview files with this person classification. So software is nothing. Software is depending on the human being. So we need to tell the software that all these interview files are actually, they are human being, they are person. So we need to add these interview files with the person classification. So I have selected all these interview files, and I need to create them as a case. So we are going to create them as a case. So we are going to select all these interview files and right click on the selected list, and then you need to select create as option, and there is the last option in the sub menu, which is create as cases. So here we need to select create as cases, and here software is asking assign to classification. So we need to select person as classification. So because these cases are the person, not the organization. If these are not the person and these are the annual reports of the companies, then definitely you need to select the organization. And maybe if you have selected one person, CEO from one organization, if your unit of analysis is organization, and these files are representing and the informants are the CEO, but unit of analysis is the organization, then you have two choices. You can also create the person classification as the CEO or the person, but you can also go for the organization, because you are collecting the primary data, but you are analyzing the organization, and you can create the distinction or in the classification while you are going to define the different types of organization or size of an organization. So accordingly you can select the classification, and you can assign the classification. So here we are going to select person as classification because these are the person. So we click OK. Okay, that's great. So software has created these all these files as a cases. So we can click on cases, we can find our list of the respondents, respondent 1, respondent 2. Now these are the cases. So all cases are linked with the person classification. So now we need to define the attribute values. So in gender there are different attribute value. If we click on gender, so we can create the values, and there are two tabs, general and values. We can add more tabs like male. There are already two values, unassigned or not applicable. So we can add male or we can add female, and we can click OK. So we have defined the first attribute value. We can also define the age groups. So here we have values at, yes, age group from 15 to 20 years, and we can add more 21 to 25 years, and we can add more 26 to 26 and above. So we can create in this way. We can also create the occupation. Just need to double click values, and some people are professor or teacher, someone is doctor, someone is businessman. So you can create some occupation, country of birth. You can delete some irrelevant themes. Maybe you can add some experience. So in this way you can add the attribute and values to an attribute. So all these things are under the classification of person. Now this is the time to give the data in the person classification. You can open, double click. Yes, in this way you can add the data. So here the respondent 1 is male, respondent 2 is female, respondent 3 is male, respondent 4 is female, Okay, male, and respond 5 is female, respond 6 is female. So we can also give the age groups of different respondents. We can also assign the occupations, like someone is professor, someone is doctor, someone is businessman, someone is doctor, professor. So we can give the values according to the data. So these are all demographic values according to the classification. So it helps us to explore different charts. So now what we are going to do, we already explored the hierarchy charts. Now we are going to create the charts. So here we have charts. Okay. So according to coding, we are going to create the charts. Next. So here we have coding for one file. No, we have more files. So we are going to create the coding by case attribute values for multiple codes, because we have multiple codes, multiple themes. So next, but here, if I'm going back, you need to play up with the different options. This is your duty. When you will practice this software, so I will strongly recommend you to play all these options by giving the different data. So here we need to select the codes. This is not code. Codes mean multiple themes. I need to select the codes. So if I click on this, so I have selected these themes codes rather than selecting the parent node, because this is not the codes. So this is the category. Now on the x-axis attribute, I need to select person, gender, or age group. So according to sex or gender, I need to I put the values on x-axis, and all attribute values except unassigned or not applicable, because we have not assigned the unassigned or not applicable to anyone. So on the percentages of coverage or number of coding references, you can explore the, if you are going to explore this chart on the number of cases coded, then you can also go with that. So this is your own choice, and you can finish. So here we can analyze the codings or the themes contributed by male and female, different themes. So here different types of charts we can see the different contribution of the male and female people. So this is, so we can say that gender issue is more in male and less in female. So here genetic issue is more in male, and females are reporting more migration. So here we can compare these types of charts or diagrams. So there are different bar charts. You can also rotate it according to your convenience, x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. So this is your choice. You can export these charts and put in your research for the comparison purposes. So we explore these charts and the hierarchy charts, and we can also go for the maps. This is also very wonderful option. This is the final model or the maps we can explore, and we are going to explore the project map. There is also concept map, and you can also create the concept map in your Word document. So this is very simple, and this is the conceptual model. So you can define the conceptual model according to the literature gaps, and but project map mean this is your project, what we are doing. We are working on the project, so according to that project themes we can explore the map. So we need to select the project map, and I'm going to give the name of this map final map. So here we created, and software will allow us the space to create the map. So this is the space, and software is suggesting to click on add project items. So I need to click on add project items, and we need to select the code, and we need to select automatically descendant nodes, all the parents and child nodes. Here I need to click OK. Okay, that's perfect. So this is the map, and this is the parent node, and these are the child nodes. There are different ways to change this project. So these are the layouts, and I need to select this layout in this way or this layout in this way, so I can change according to my convenience. So according to different categories, we can explore, we can draw these different maps, and I can export it. And if I right click export map, I can put in to my thesis or in my research paper. This is very wonderful option, project map. So I'm going to close this option. And now what we are going to do, we are going to explore some queries. And these are very important options. Here we can also explore some queries. So the first query is text search query. We can search a particular text from the data. So text search query is showing the meaning by its name. So its name is text search. It's mean we are going to search a phrase or some words in the text. So this is the text mining technique. So I'm working on business intelligence, and I'm planning some research paper on data mining and text mining and web mining. So this is very wonderful area. So my another video is available on sentiment analysis. Dr. Faizan also recorded my video, and this is the wonderful video. Dr. Faizan also contributed a lot of concept in that particular video theoretically, and I practically. So if you want to check that particular video, you can just search sentiment analysis using NVivo software in YouTube. So you will find that particular video. So sentiment analysis is basically all about exploring the different feelings of the people, feelings, emotion, attitude in the textual data. So software automatically finds some positive or negative attitudes or some feelings and categorize that these words are the positive, these words are the negative. So this is very wonderful option. You can apply sentiment analysis through the auto coding option in NVivo software. So video is available. You can find that particular video. So here we are going to apply the text mining, and we are going to search that particular text. For example, I'm going to search depression. So if I write depression, and I need to select the criteria. This is the exact match, depression or stamped word depressing or depressed or some synonyms. So talk synonym is speak. So synonym of talk is speak. So here we can select the criteria. So here we can go for the general, and this is more exact specifically. So we should go for this specific option. But in language analysis, and I train the people in English language, linguistic or literature. So they told me, Dr. Lodi, this is very wonderful and very helpful option for us because we do such kinds of things in our linguistic. So here we are going to find some exact match words like depression. I need to run the query. Okay, this is perfect. And these are the findings. Here, there are different documents like field note 1, field note 2, and the respondent 1, 2, 3 files where this word depression has been used. So I can explore the tree maps. Here, the last option is tree map. So this is very wonderful, and I can explore this particular tree map, and this is the option. We can analyze the text from, we can read the statement from here, and we can go for the other side. So how people talk about this word depression. So how they talk before this word depression and after this word depression. So for example, you can explore with the coronavirus. So if you say COVID-19 or Corona, so how people talk about this coronavirus. So here I can, this is very large. I can search the loss. So here I can find some tree about the loss. So how people talk about this word loss. We can find the different patterns of talk. So we can also double click on this statement, and we can also bring this statement for the coding purposes. We can create another code. We can create another theme from this data. So this is also the data mining technique. We can explore the themes from the data, And we can also export this particular diagram and put in the appendix section, or the in the end of your thesis, or in the end of your research paper. These are the supporting evidences. So you can explain that people have talked about these particular statements and themes, whatever we explored manually. So this is also double validation of your data. So this is the tree map we explored. And similarly, this is the text search query, and we can explore some, some other queries, and word frequency query. Here is the word frequency query we are going to apply. This is the word frequency query. So I click on this word frequency query, and this query is the number of words, repetition of words. So we can explore some 1000 most repetition of words, and we can set the criteria. Minimum length of the words should be more than five letters in the word. So if somebody is talking about D, so D has 3 letters, THE. So software will not display, because we have set the criteria. Minimum criteria of the length is 5. So we can also change the criteria, like the exact match or some stamped words. We can run this query. This is very wonderful. And here, this is the the table. So this is the large table of 1000 words. But actual when you are going to put in your thesis, so 100 words are recommended, or 50 words are recommended. So with the 50 words, you will spread this particular table over the 2 pages, and one page will contain 25 lines. So here you can find 50 most frequent words, but you can also find 1000 most frequent words. Run this query, and this is the table. You can put this particular table length, words, and frequency or repetition and percentage in your thesis appendix section of your thesis. And you can also explore the word clouds. So this is also the text mining technique. You are going to explore the tag clouds. These are the word clouds. This is very wonderful picture. Software is going to trying to display. It depends upon the data. If you're going to explore this particular word cloud on the 1000 words, then definitely it will take more time. And if you're going to apply this particular query over the 100 words, so it will not take much time to display the finding. So this is the word cloud we can explore through this particular command. Okay, I think they are, yeah, yes, my goodness. So this is the very wonderful picture. And so according to the, some words are more, significant, and some are least significant. So according to their frequency, you can export, and you can put in your thesis or in your research paper. So people are talking about more on VN. So if I need to further explore how people talk about the VN, I can right click, and I can run the text search query for VN, for digging out, for finding out the pattern of talk of the people about VN. So here we can explore the word tree for VN, how people talk before this word VN and after this word VN. So we can read these statements from start to end, and we can also increase the context. Here is the context. We can increase the number of words. Previously it was on 5, now it is on 10. So 10 words before this word VN, and 10 words after this word VN. We can also export this particular VN diagram, and we can put in our thesis, in our research paper, and this is very wonderful option. So these are all queries, and we can also change this particular word tag clouds, like according to our requirements. These are the different types of word clouds you can select. this one, you can select this one. Okay, according to your convenience, you can select, and you can also select the tag clouds. This is also very dynamic. So you can select some unrelated words from the data which are not the theme of your study. So these are some unrelated words. So if you want to also delete this depression, you can do this. These are some unrelated words. So we can also blacklist them. We can also add to stop word list, and all these lists will not be displayed these words. So if we run again this particular query, so these words will be removed from the tag clouds. Okay, yes, oh my goodness. Then later on I can change it. This is the tag cloud, and I can go back toward the word clouds. So tag clouds are the dynamic. We can change, we can reduce, we can list some factors as the stop factors, but in these are the static. So here we cannot go for reducing these factors, but we can further explore these factors. Just right click and explore, like the word tree. You can draw the tree, and you can analyze the pattern of the talk of the people, how people talk about this particular word. So this is very helpful technique. You can also apply for the data mining, web mining. So if you are conducting this particular analysis on the COVID-19, how people talk about COVID-19, so you can explore the data from the social media. You can explore the data how people talk about the tourism. So you can conduct the web mining on tourism. So you can go for the particular themes. You can search. You can look into the data. So this is very wonderful option. Choice is yours. You according to your expectations, according to your knowledge, and according to the objective of your research, you can apply these very amazing, very unbelievable option using NVivo software. So now, in the last, I would like to tell you people how to report the qualitative data. So this is very important because a number of people ask this question. Okay, that's fine. We have explored these charts or diagrams. So some of the charts are very simple. You can easily interpret the findings. These are very simple. But the way to report the qualitative, for example, if I mention determinants of depression here, and there is one determinant like negative thinking. You need to put the literature about the negative thinking. For example, John and Williams 2020 conducted a study in the context of USA. They collected data from the workers. They found that negative thinking is the reason of depression. So this is the theoretical evidence you have provided, and now you are going to provide the empirical evidence by writing in this way. One of the participants also reported that, yes, this one. Now you are going to coming back toward NVivo software. You need to open codes, and this is the negative thinking. You need to double click, and this is the coding query. Coding query mean now this is the time to open the open the particular code. So these are all statements regarding negative thinking. So for example, these statements you find that this statement is more suitable, you just copy. And who said this statement? Respondent 3. Respondent 3 interview files, they said. Respondent 3 said. So respondent 3 said this statement, respondent 3 said this statement, and while respondent 5 said this statement. So you can put multiple, text from multiple respondents. So here, sorry, this one, you can just copy and paste your data. This is the empirical evidence, and here you need to put inverted commas, and this is respondent 3. You need to give the reference like this. So this is the reference, the literature, and this is also you are not saying, respondent 3 is saying. So here you can use the intent 0.5 or 1 from the right or left intent. You can also bold this statement. Okay. Okay, this one. That's great. Control B. Yes. So we are, being a researcher, we are totally unbiased. We are not saying that negative thinking is the reason of depression, but John and William is saying, and this particular respondent 3 is saying. So if you do not find any theoretical evidence in the literature, so that would be purely your theme you have explored in your study. So that would be the purely your contribution. This is the new theme you explored, new dimension, new element, new question, new, the item of the construct, or new factor, new reason, new outcome, new antecedent, new consequences. So this is the thing. If you do not find any reference about that particular theme in the literature, then definitely you need to prove your claim with the evidence, with the empirical evidences of your interviews or your pictures or your focus group discussion. But here, my supervisor told me that he said, "Oh, Lodi, this is the statement of the John and William, and this is the statement of respondent 3. So where is your contribution?" So here he suggested me, and then I also reported my interpretation. So I will write based on the above mentioned theoretical and empirical evidences, it is clear that in Pakistan, if I'm conducting this study in Pakistan, I will write, in Pakistan, people are facing the problem of depression because of negative thinking about others. Okay, if you are negatively thinking about yourself or about others, so it will create depression. This is the problem. So this is the way to report the qualitative research. You can write the statements. You can also put the different diagrams, different, hierarchical charts, tree maps, word clouds, tag clouds. So this is your choice. So if you have any question, thank you so much for this training session. And Dr. Faizan, so what you suggest?
Thank you very much, Dr. Lodhi. I must say that it was really good. And I see that for the first 1 hour, people were asking a lot of questions. And I kept saying that, hold on, let it go, let it wait. And then you get a lot of your answers. So I see now many people are saying that they got a lot of answers and it was very good. So, and very good way of explaining. So kudos to you for making this complicated thing very easy to understand to many people. I'm sure that Dr. Siddhan here, she has questions to ask. But before we get into that questions, I thank you and I thank Dr. Siddhan. I also want to thank every single person here who have been here. So consistently, we had quite a large number of people attending. We dropped some people, joined some people, but a pretty good, decent number attending the session, because the session can be as good as interactive it is. So I must thank everybody who joined and asked a lot of questions and kept the chat active. So it was pretty good. Those of you who did not subscribe to the channel, please do, because I'm planning to have these type of workshops in the future. In fact, somebody, Dr. Lodi, just asked when are we going to do the third video on M plus, because they watched the two videos on M plus and they're asking about the third one. So hopefully we'll do that soon. Obviously, Dr. Lodhi is also very busy, as am I. We'll hope to get things out soon. With that, Siddhan, the mic is yours. Maybe you can ask some of the questions and then we can end. I know we are already over time.
Okay, there are a couple of questions that I would like to ask Dr. Loti. One question is coming from a student, actually. As a student, is it better to extract themes of pictures with some certified research experts or by yourself?
Okay, no. If you're expert in exploring some pictures, then you can also conduct this particular research confidently. So if you're not expert in that particular pictures or areas, then you need to hire some experts. So this is simple answer.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Lodi, you have already showed us some visualization of the results, the findings, but also is there any way to make some graphs, charts, or tables in NVivo software other than word cloud and others?
Okay, yes, there are different options. We can apply matrix coding query. So if somebody write this name matrix coding query, how to apply this matrix coding query. So there are a number of videos are available on YouTube, how to explore matrix coding query. So in the matrices, you can put your data in like columns and in rows to display and to compare the different themes and with the different respondents. So in this way, you can draw different tables. So there is another way to draw the different tables, which is cross tabulation. Cross tabulation is also a very wonderful facility in NVivo software. Previously, it was applied through SPSS software, cross tabulation. So we put the data on the rows and columns, then we compare. But now NVivo software also supports cross tabulation. So in this way, you can draw different types of tables showing your the attributes of the classification, and you can compare with the different themes.
Okay, thank you. The other question is any pitfalls of using NVivo in media content analysis?
Sorry?
Any pitfalls of using NVivo software in media content analysis?
Pitfalls. Media content analysis. Okay, media mean you are going to take the talk shocks, talk shock of the people on different channels. You can import. My friend who was doing PhD from University Malaya, so he explored the contents from the speech of Trump, President Trump. So he applied the content analysis on those speeches. So this is very simple. You can auto transcribe the speeches and the media talks, and then later on you can apply the text mining technique, how that particular person, how Trump talks about American people or Muslim people or other people or other communities. So you can explore some kinds of analysis. So he explored, and his paper was published in an impact factor journal.
Sorry, hold on. So, Dr. Lodi, very good answer. I just want to say something here. So I've been looking at the chat since the start, and I try to answer a lot of questions. But look, I'm a strong believer in one thing, and this is a famous saying. Maybe a lot of you might have heard it, that instead of giving somebody a fish, you need to teach them how to fish. It's a very famous saying, and it's a very interesting saying, right? So I want to say this now. Most of the people who are attending this workshop are either researchers or either aspirant researchers, going to be a researcher, maybe a PhD student, a master's student, or even undergraduate students. Very important to understand that it's not about spoon feeding, right? So there were many people asking questions like, okay, what is the benefit of NVivo over other softwares? What is the limitation of NVivo? Look, I will tell you, I'm a pure quantitative researcher. I hardly do qualitative research, but I still attend these type of talks just to be able to understand what's going on. So tomorrow, if one of my students come and say, should I use NVivo? At least I'll have some idea to talk to them about it, right? Not completely ignorant of it. Now, there was a question, can I use NVivo in law? Somebody asked, can I use NVivo in media studies? Somebody asked, can I use NVivo in undergraduate studies? So again, for these type of questions, I think whoever is asking this question, these are good questions. It means you are thinking about it, right? But the easiest way of doing this is um, use the software and see if it works for you or not. If it works for you, use it. If it doesn't work for you, you don't lose anything. So just, try and error type of thing. So that's what I would say here.
Okay, I think there is only one question remained. How can we ensure the validity of data analyzed through this software?
Okay, that's a very important question. So, normally people say that there is less generalizability, or the external validity of the data. So we find some realities, but it is difficult to generalize. So there are different designs in qualitative research. For example, if you go for the narrative research design, you conduct the autobiography or biography only on one person. So it is difficult to generalize the results from only one, the life of or the belief of one people, over the general public, over the all people, all the societies. For example, Tayyip Erdogan, your Dr. Saddam, president in Turkey. So a lot of people inspired with the personality of the president. So uh, 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 if somebody write the book, but the finding of that particular philosophy of the life cannot be generalized. So the reason is that we are collecting the data from only one person. But if you go for the phenomenological research design, so in phenomenological research design, we understand the phenomena through the shared experience from more than one people. So then definitely it has more generalizability as compared to the narrative research design. So there are different research design. It depends upon the researcher what type of research design he is going to apply in the particular research. So within qualitative, there are different advantages and disadvantages of different research designs. So some research designs have more generalizability as compared to the other. So but in general, qualitative research has less generalizability as compared to the quantitative research. So this is the proven reality. Everybody knows about this fact. So this is fact that qualitative has less generalizability.
Okay, thank you so much. So you have answered all the questions. Thank you so much.
Yes, so one other thing very quickly, I think there are some new questions coming up, but because we are post time, it's 11 past 12 here, and I know in Pakistan, I think it's around 10 past 10 p.m. So I think what we can do is we can close the session here, but what I can do is, since there are a lot of questions, maybe we can have a session with Dr. Lodhi, only a question and answer session on qualitative data analysis. That way people can send their questions in advance, and then live also, maybe, so then Dr. Lodhi can answer those questions about qualitative data analysis, only focusing on Q&A, right? I
Okay,
think that would be a better approach.
that's perfect. So, Dr. Fazan, I have also shared my screen and my email address and my phone number. This is if you put 0092.
Dr. Lodhi, if you can, zoom in a little bit, then it would be a bit clearer for people who are watching it, so that way they can access. Perfect.
Okay. So I'm very humble, very down-to-earth person. So if you want to write some papers, you're most welcome. You can contact me, and if you need some kind of help, so you can contact me through my contact information. You're most welcome. Thank you so much.
Yes, and just like Dr. Sedan, who I said is a wonderful colleague and a person with such a high work ethic. She was here a research scholar at USF for 1 year last year. This whole year she was here, and despite coronavirus with a lot of issues, I must say that everybody here in USF was just so happy to have her here because of her work ethic. So I just want to say that she was already having a PhD with a few years of experience, already a faculty member, but she was here just like graduate students, and everybody just loved that work ethic. And same, I would say, for Dr. Rab Nawaz Lodhi. Again, a very humble and down-to-earth person, and somebody who is very easy to work with. So if you guys have any questions, please make sure. Yes, by the way, very recent, I just got to know that Dr. Lodhi will also be a visiting research scholar at the M3 Center for University of South Florida. So congratulations, Dr. Lodhi. I am looking forward to work with you. And as such as Dr. Jihan, who told me this morning about this. So thank you again. If anybody have got any questions, you can reach out to Dr. Lodhi about qualitative data. But Dr. Lodhi is also an expert in several other things. So it's not only qualitative data, but other softwares like M+ or Smart PLS or MOS, etc. If you have any other questions about research in general, you are more than welcome to reach out to me. The best way is, many people ask me email. I think if you just put my name on Google with USF, you will find it. It's very easy. And I'm very accessible. So if you're on my Facebook, which most of you are, send me a message. I'll be happy to answer. And same is with Dr. Sedan. So Dr. Sedan is also, I don't know where does she stand with methodology, but she is an expert or an emerging expert in robotics in hospitality and tourism. So she works with smart devices, robots, and stuff like this. Again, if you want to talk to her about any research ideas, please feel free to reach her. Thank you again, Dr. Lodhi, Dr. Sedan, and every single person who attended the workshop. Thank you. Make sure subscribe to the channel again, because we are going to have several other sessions coming up very soon. Thank you.
Thank you so much.